Hey everybody, I'm Brandon72Mo. Welcome to the final part of the 5th update to my GTA Online Garage Tour video series. If you want to see your own garages featured on a video on my channel, send a tweet at Brandon72Mo with the hashtag Garage Tour. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at another dozen new vehicles worth roughly $25 million. If you enjoy this video, please drop a like and get subscribed. Now, let's get to the cars. Up first is the Pfister Comet Retro Custom. You saw my other Comet Retro Custom in the last video, but this one was designed to go in my race car garage for my first character. I'm really happy that Rockstar has given us such a broad range of design options with a lot of the new cars. Of course, that means my bank account is suffering since I often want more than one of each car so that I can take advantage of all those options. When spec'd out as a race car, this Comet wound up costing me nearly 200 grand more than the one you saw in the last video. I don't really care though, because it looks great sitting next to all of my other race cars. Sure, it's not going to win any races, but is that really the point of a car collection? For me, I want to make sure that I have all the top performers in every class, and then I fill out the rest of my collection with cars that simply look great. The Comet Retro Custom definitely fits that description. Up next is the Dubachi Spectre Custom. This is, yet again, another custom car that is a little bit slower around the track than the stock version. If you want to know why, then head over to Bruffy's channel and look for his discussion video on that topic. While both Spectres have the same top speed, the Spectre Custom doesn't have as much traction in the corner as the stock Spectre, so it turns in a slightly slower lap time. But meh, that's not why I own this car. Just look at this thing. It is drop dead gorgeous. I once again turned to Aston Martin for design inspiration, basing this design off a limited design that was available for the new DB11. Not only does this car look incredible, it makes an incredibly wicked startup sound and keeps the auditory bliss going as you're driving down the road. So, it can be as slow around the track as it wants to, as long as it looks and sounds this good. The third vehicle is the Albanese Roosevelt Valor. This is a car that I've wanted for a long time, but I simply never had the garage space for. Now that I have a ton of extra space and an entire garage dedicated to Albany, I had to get a Roosevelt. It was a tough decision between the Roosevelt and the Valor. I ultimately chose this one due to its greater number of visual modifications. I really enjoy driving the Valor, and it even made a cameo in a GTA Online news video back on Valentine's Day. I think Rockstar added a nice touch by adding a couple of extra places where players can ride on the outside of the car and use two-handed weapons. It gives this car an authentic Prohibition-era gangster credibility and allows you and 5 friends to go on an all-out rampage across Los Santos in high style. The Annis Elegy Retro Custom is number 4 in this final part of my 5th Garage Tour update series. Oh my god, I love this little car. While it does suffer from fairly low top speed and it isn't as quick around the track as the standard Elegy, it can still be quite competitive. In fact, I've used this very car to win quite a few races during my live streams. By the way, you can catch my live streams on Friday and Saturday evening at 7 p.m. Central Time. Like a lot of the recent additions to GTA Online, the Elegy Retro Custom has a ton of customization options that allows you to create your own unique look. In fact, I have yet to see 2 Elegies with identical designs. You can choose from a racetrack-inspired look to a more understated street car and everything in between. And while you're designing it, you can rest assured that you have a sports car that is not only a ton of fun to drive, but one that can be quite competitive on the right tracks. Now, if only that performance downgrade didn't cost $1 million. Up next is the ProGen Italia GTB. ProGen spent nearly 2 years with only one car in GTA Online, the T20. But then we got the Tyrus, and now we have the 2 variations of the Italia GTB. With such an impressive lineup, I can't wait to see what's coming next with the ProGen badge on it. The stock Italia GTB is the better performing of the 2 versions, thanks to better traction in the corners from a spoiler. While not able to break into the top 10 supercars, it is still 1 second quicker around a track than the Custom, but just a little slower in straight line speed. Though it doesn't have quite as many customization options as the Custom version, there's still enough for you to modify to get your own unique look. It's not hard to create a great looking ride when the car arrives looking this amazing. I'm really happy to have my Italia GTB parked next to my T20 in my supercars garage on my first character. And by the way, yes, it is pronounced Italia. Number 6 is the Pegassi Tempesta. My second character has a dedicated Pegassi collection, so I had to get the Tempesta when it was released. This is a car that I've struggled quite a bit to find a design that I like. In fact, what you're looking at now will most likely change several times before I find exactly what I want. It's not really the Tempesta's fault. I have some pretty bright, over-the-top designs for most of my Pegassis since they're based on real-world Lamborghinis. But with so many Pegassis, I've used all the really bold colors, and I'm finding it difficult to come up with something over the top that doesn't just copy a design that I already have. Until I find the right look, I'll just enjoy owning the Tempesta because it is a fantastic car. It's a pleasure to drive, and it does incredibly well on a track thanks to its incredible stability in the corners and solid acceleration. It is kind of low on top speed, so it's not going to do well on tracks with a lot of long straights, but if you're on a track with a ton of tight corners, you can't go wrong with a Tempesta. Before we move on to the next 6 vehicles in this update video, I want to remind you that if you play on PC and want to have your own garages featured in a video on my channel, just send a tweet at Brandon72Mo and include the hashtag GarageTour. I'm an absolute gearhead, so I love to look at and talk about cars. If you enjoy cars as much as I do, I'd love to feature your garages. Also, keep an eye out for future videos in this series, including one that features all my Pegasus vehicles, as well as further updates as I get new cars. If you want to see all those vehicles, keep those likes coming. Next up is the Truffade Nero. I was really worried that Rockstar would ruin another Bugatti-inspired car like they did with the Adder. Sure, the Adder is quick in a straight line, but it is terrible when it finds a corner. I hate the Adder so much that I've developed an allergy to it that causes me to blow them up every time I see one. I really can't help it. So when I bought the Nero, I wasn't expecting much. I'm happy to say that my expectations were absolutely blown out of the water. This car is not only incredibly sexy, but it is amazing to race and drive. Despite being a really wide car, it can get through corners with grace, and it piles on the speed in the straights. I turned to Bugatti's website to find design inspiration, and I'm really pleased with how the Nero turned out. Truffade has indeed been redeemed with the Nero, though my collection will never be complete because I will never ever own an Adder. But if you want the pinnacle of luxury in a hypercar, pick up a Nero today. Our next vehicle is the ProGen Italia GTB Custom. And we once again have a custom car that is actually downgraded when you pay a ton of money to turn it into a custom. As I've mentioned before, Bruffy did an excellent discussion series with this car as his main focus, so if you want to know why it's slower around the track than the stock version, hit up his channel for that video. But even though it's slower, I'm still happy to have the Italia GTB Custom in my race car garage. Once again, Rockstar gave us a ton of design options so that we could create a lot of different looks. My only problem was settling on just one design. I think it turned out really well, with a really aggressive look that sets it apart from the stock version without appearing as over the top as some of the other design choices would have led to. Sure, I never raced this car, but I do drive it quite a bit, and I'm glad to have it complete my ProGen collection. Number 9 is the Truffade Nero Custom. Finally, a custom version that's quicker than the stock version, both in a straight line and around the track. Not only does it have the performance to justify its upgrade price, but I probably get more compliments on this car than anything else that I own. I wish that I could say that it took a ton of time and hard work to come up with this design, but it didn't. This car has such perfect lines, and those lines are complemented very well with the liveries and the way the primary and secondary colors break on the car. I love this design so much that this is the first car that you see when you walk into my race car garage on my first character. It deserves that place of prominence because, well, just look at it. Now, I know, it sounds like I'm being really self-congratulatory here, but I take a lot of pride in creating cars that have unique yet sexy looks. And, well, it just doesn't get much better than my Nero Custom. Number 10 is the Karen Technical Aqua. When I began making this 5th update series of videos for my garage tours, I wasn't sure about including this truck or the next 2 vehicles. They're technically Pegasus vehicles. But since they can be stored in your vehicle warehouse, upgraded in Los Santos Customs, and requested through the interaction menu, I decided to go ahead and include them in these updates. There's no doubt that this truck was inspired by those that Jeremy Clarkson created back in his days on Top Gear. As a nod to this inspiration, I ponied up the 100 grand and got a Toy Boda license plate for my technical. It has solid off-road performance, it's decent on the asphalt, and it can jump into any water without fear of it drowning. I was really hoping that the red neons would glow underwater, but sadly, they don't. One of these days, I'll remember to take them off. But even with the goofy neons, this truck is still a shit ton of fun and well worth every penny of its nearly $1.5 million price. Number 11 is the Coil Rocket Voltic. So how do you take a boring electric supercar and make it fun? You put a fucking rocket on the back of it, that's how. And it gets even better because you can drive the damn thing into Los Santos Customs and upgrade it just like a regular Voltic. Sure, it is unbelievably expensive, but I haven't regretted buying it once. I do wish that I had waited to complete the special vehicle missions before buying it, because, well, that would have saved me almost $1 million. But I quickly forget about that $1 million the second I get behind the wheel. Every time I drive it, I wind up laughing like a little kid because of the sheer insanity of this thing. Nearly every object in the game becomes a potential ramp for some truly wicked stunts when you're driving this car. If you buy one, just be sure to get 100% armor because this little car is going to take a serious beating as you rocket your way across the map. And finally, the 12th vehicle in the final part of my 5th garage tour update is the Pontiac Ruin 2000. Okay, so the Ruin 2000 doesn't provide the same number of laps per minute as a rocket car or a floating truck with a machine gun. And as the most expensive car in the game, it can be difficult to rationalize spending $5 million for missiles, a machine gun, and a parachute. But still, Rockstar did a great job on this car. Clearly inspired by the Knight Industries 2000, also known as KITT, from Knight Rider, Rockstar pulled out all of the stops. The pop-up headlamps and unique taillights sets it apart from a standard Ruiner, and the interior of this car is full-on 1980s future tech. And though it may not get as many laughs as the two previous vehicles we looked at, it is nice to finally have a car that can deal with the trolls and their hydras and give them a taste of their own medicine. If you're strapped for cash, you might want to skip the Ruiner 2000. But if you've got money to burn, trust me, you'll never regret buying it. So there you go, a dozen vehicles worth roughly $25 million in the 4th and final part of my 5th update to my 197 car, $117 million garage tour. As promised, you're now taking a look at interior shots from all 19 garages that house my ever-growing car collection. I actually own 21 garages if you count the vehicle warehouse and the biker clubhouses, but 2 of my garages are currently used for storing rare NPC modified Dubstas and Sand Kings that I just turn around and sell. In all 4 parts of this 5th update, you've seen 48 new vehicles worth roughly $38 million, plus in the first video, you saw 25 other vehicles that I had previously sold but reacquired thanks to all of the extra garage space available via the executive garages. To put all of this into a little perspective, when I first started my garage tour series, I only had 99 cars in 10 garages, and my total collection was worth only $44 million. I still have enough empty garage space for 49 more vehicles, so my collection will just keep growing. Remember to drop a like if you enjoyed this video and this series. And don't forget to look for new GTA Online garage tours as I get new cars, as well as a special video that will feature my Pegasus vehicles and yachts. I've already acquired 14 more cars since I recorded this update series, so look for new garage tour videos once the next big DLC is released. Don't forget that you can have your garages featured in a video on my channel by simply sending a tweet at Brandon72Mo and including the hashtag GarageTour. You can also check out all of the videos in my Garage Tour playlist. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to follow me on social media. And come hang out with us on the Vainglorious forums and the Vainglorious Discord server. All those links are in the description down below. I'm Brandon72Mo, and I'll see you in the next video.